Yeah, his ankle's good. Just spoke to him. And I don't talk about selection, but given that we've just been talking about bad news, which you guys thrive on, then the good news is that we will play a player this week who I think is a fantastic story in Gus Sheehan, an Irishman playing his first game. I just think it's a fantastic story. So we're delighted to say that he's going to be part of our football club going forward this week. And when you consider how good he was at the Irish game, and he elected to come over here, and I think it's worthy of, if you go back through your history, you'll find that he actually came over with Zach Toohey and went back and has come back again. So I think that that's meritorious. Very strongly built player, could play both ends of the ground. So, we're looking forward to him contributing. He hasn't got a game on the back of injuries. He's got a game on the back of good form, really good form. He's grown. It's in many respects, it could even be considered late him playing because his form has been very, very solid for a number of weeks. But it's just one of those things to make sure that we've got it right at the right time, bring him in so he feels comfortable enough that his form has been very good in the reserves and that he can come in and play at either end of the ground for us this week. And he'll spot up on the forward line and he'll play wing and he'll play back for us. You'd have to ask him. We've got two Kierans here. One's called Casey, the other's called Gus. Maybe that's just the Irish reflection. You get named something and you call yourself something else. I don't know. I don't know how it works. He's very close, yep. That's a good question. And it's very difficult to answer, particularly in my position, because I'd probably be part of knowing what's taking place. It's a good question, and I don't know whether it's got an answer. I don't know whether it's got an answer that's going to suit. But I'm like you. You don't like to see a good footballer. There's different ways of handling it. And I've noticed this year there's a whole host of players, probably more than in the past, have actually announced their retirement. Some have gone on, and some have finished on the day, and they get the kudos they deserve. I remember way back in West Coast days when Tony Evans said to me, I'll retire at the end of this year, and I said, well, announce it now, because at the end of the year there's going to be a dozen blokes and you'll get muddled up with a dozen. You deserve far more kudos. He's just one of the most wonderful little player, helped us win a premiership without a shadow of doubt. And I said, you have your day in the sun, so announce it now, so that down the track, your people as in your kids will see that you took back page, and deservedly, not with another 10 players, but with one. So. But Chris is different, and you're making an assumption he's going to retire, and I suppose a lot of football people would probably say that. I'm of the opinion that it's still 50-50, and I think that Chris will, he has spoken to me about certain things, but nothing's conclusive. Yeah, we're talking about something that's going around here that's I can't answer. So I don't want this to be a debate on whether he should or shouldn't. And,
But you agree that it'd be great for you?
No, I'm not going to agree to anything. I'm going to say that each has their own methodology. I haven't got that much time to talk about it. I've got training in an hour.
I think that's it. I think Mark Evans is supposed to be presenting to the CEOs about maybe for lower level offences, maybe financial based penalties instead of points or suspensions. Is that something that...
Mark Evans has been very, very good for football, put it that way. And I think on top of that, club experience and a real feel for the game is exactly what he has, which means when you talk, you actually talk to a football person who is understanding, and I just think gets it right. So. We know there's a lot of things that can change. And I think that it's too simplistic to say that should change and that should change, but then you're coming across another case and you say, well, how did that happen? Why has he got 2 weeks and why has he got 4 and why has he got none? that's too simplistic. You really have to get something down that's I'll call it a common sense clause. Because if we look at consistency on the way it's done with the point system, then it has to work out certain point systems that player gets suspended. But if you look at a common sense system, which he's advocating, then you're going to get things far more right than wrong. And I think sometimes it's got to go to a judgment of a bloke like him who's been in the game and understands that it's a bit like Nick Graham, for heaven's sake. And I'm not allowed to talk about the decision, but I can say that we will not be taking any action whatsoever against Nick Graham being reported and being found guilty because we had to accept it.
Otherwise we risk a week.
We had to accept it. And I don't think it's... In fact, I wish now we had have, because I think by running that out, he should not have points. But I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. But we've got to get... common sense has got to prevail. And I feel more comfortable saying that now with Mark there, because he knows a bit more about common sense. Well, it's not a matter of... That's the term, but we thought... I know deep down in my heart, I thought we could win last week. And we ran a very close second. Certainly not through Endeavour. The Endeavour was outstanding. I admire this group because the question I asked them before the game last week was this: who's got the most to play for? Carlton or Fremantle? And if you don't answer Fremantle, you know nothing about football. Because we're fighting what? For pride, they're fighting for a position in the top four. On their ground, after a great loss, they had a lot more to fight for. And for us to marry that up and match that with Endeavour is a fantastic tick for my group. We just made one or two more mistakes than they did and paid a penalty. So if I have the same commitment and we start to close those mistakes down, we will win games of football against anyone. And that's the goal.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.